Well, it's going to be a little windy here because we're out here overlooking the Queen Talimena overlook here, right behind these lodge here. And as of in the morning, we're going to take off for a 40-mile hike. Hope to show y'all some exciting views and interesting things as we go along. Here we go. The morning as we get ready to leave. Breakfast come out. Figured to give you a morning view. There it is. There's actually a Queen Wilhelmina Lake back off in here. Y'all. All right, so I figured I'd give y'all a little interesting details about, here's the lodge. This is the front part of the Queen Wilhelmina here. Okay, this was originally built in the 1800s. It was financed by the Queen Wilhelmina from Dutch, correct? The Dutch Queen. And they built it. Now, it's got quite an interesting history because it actually burnt down, rebuilt it. It burnt down again like 1913. Guy started rebuilding it. The Arkansas State Park System took it over in 1957, reopened it. It's like the original foundation. In the original building, let me see if I can do this right. Right here, this outcrop, it's now offices, but in the original building, this is the design in the same location with, I think, the foundation, part of the foundation still original from 1800s. But that little room right there was actually built specifically for the Queen. So if she'd ever show up and visit, that was her room. Now, unfortunately, she never did show up to the lodge. But as you come down here, down this hill here is where the railroad tracks would come up. And there's a set of toy tracks down there that they have a little train once in a while that runs around. And the best that they can tell that the original tracks in the 1800s we always hear was down the hill. So we can't tell if it was down here at this little like toy track or where the tracks are today, which is about 3 miles down the hill, because it's down the hill. And if you look across through the trees, you can see the other ridge line right there. So nobody knows exactly where the tracks were at, but the train would stop and then they would walk up here and stay and hang out. Now there's plenty of little trails. There's the Lover's Leap Trail, which comes from the Native Americans, where evidently a young native lady jumped off because she couldn't marry her lover. There's another trail on the backside that goes to the original reservoir that was built in the 1800s. And if you go down the road down here, there's an actual campground with what they call the Pioneer Cemetery, with some of the original quote-unquote pioneers that settled this area in the 1800s. So it's quite an interesting little deal if you actually do your history and research on it. We're going to go probably put our packs on, do one final check, and head out. And on the way out, we'll show you one other thing, and I'll tell you what the packs weigh. Be safe. All right, real quick video here. My pack weighs roughly, I'm going to say with the water, about 35 to 37 pounds. Hers down there with the water, everything in it's about 35, 33 pounds. Now, the reason I decided to come down here is, like I said, the train track. There's a sign, and if you see it right there, there's a little bitty train that they brought up in the 70s. If you go a little bit further across this way, that's a very interesting house. It's called the Wonder House. It's a guy built it, I can't remember when, they've turned it into a museum, but it's very, very interesting because it's got like 27 rooms to it, and it's not all that big, but it's very, very cool. Now, on the other side of this, we got to walk down this road 3 miles, and then we're going to dip into the woods where we dipped out of the woods from the last section hike that we completed. This time we're going to do section 3 and 4 of it. It's roughly 42 miles, I'm going to say. So we'll be back in touch later. All right, well, we made it down to 3 miles up and down the road. Took us an hour and 30 minutes. So now, oh, there's the trail. There it goes off down. It literally crosses the road, goes across there, back down. That is the first technical 3 miles of the trail. The section 3 goes back to section 2 and section 1, which happens to be the hardest 2 sections of the trail. So we're going to jump on section 3 here and go to the end of section 4. So other than that, we'll keep you updated. Oh yeah. Little Miss Thing here evidently has to fall every damn section.
I got a boo-boo.
She done got it over with. Didn't make it a half mile down the road. Right. Looked like a turtle. That's all I can say. We're trying to be safe.